Hi, I'm Shanta Maharaj Singh, and my practice runs under Successful Mindset Strategies. I am a counselor registered with Council for Counselors South Africa. I'm also a mental health therapist, and I work for Plum Health UK as a therapist online. I do auricular acupuncture, and I'm a neuroagility profile therapist. Besides that, my passion is mental health, and I come across mental health in my coaching very, very often. This is November, Movember. And of course, it's men's mental health. So, the reason why I am involved in this afternoon's discussion is to engage with a brilliant young man and for both of us to enlighten you on certain aspects of mental health with regard to men.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Justice Sambo, and I am an author. I wrote the Life Through My Eyes. And in actual fact, in that book, I discuss a bit of mental health, where I discuss a bit of where I struggled with depression and stuff and things like that. And that is exactly the reason why I felt like it's important to discuss such things because there's little to no spaces available for such discussions, especially around mental health for men. They suffer in silence. We are told that a man should not cry. And according to me, I feel like that's like if I can say rubbish. That shouldn't be like that. We teach our young people at an early age to say that you need to be strong, you need to be strong.
Mm.
Don't act like a girl, those things. And I feel like it's very wrong. So that is exactly the reason why I'm involved in this afternoon. Beyond being a writer, I'm a co-founder of the African Dream Movement, which works in different African countries. We work with young people to discover their unique selves, and that's a bit of mental health comes into play on there, because for you to discover yourself, you need to like know who you are, beyond what you're feeling, beyond depression, beyond everything else, beyond your background, beyond your religion, beyond where you come from, your background, as I mentioned. So it goes back to that. Beyond that, I have been nominated and counted as one of the 100 young Mandelas of the future by News 24. This was in 2018 for my community service. And I think I'll just stop there for now because if I were to give a whole about myself, yeah, I will just take the whole time speaking. But yes, thank you for inviting me.
Justice, I had the pleasure of reviewing your book. And, it was only then did I realize how sensitive you were towards mental health. Because if one does not know you on that level, one just sees you as, the fame, the glory, but doesn't see the human and the intellectual behind you. So for me, I think what it was an eye opener. And I got to know you on a totally different level. So that was really beneficial to me. Now, I'm coming across a number of men with mental health issues, right? And I'm going to ask you, Justice, because I'm not in a position to answer that. But why do you think men don't speak about this? What is it that prevents a man,
Um,
unless he goes to a therapist? And that too is always, towards the end. But what prevents a man from speaking about his mental health openly?
that is quite interesting because I think um, when I look at the dynamics of, say, my friendships, we have this thing where, at least I can safely say that I am lucky, or I am blessed to have the friends that I have, because we prioritize such things. We talk about things, we hold circles where we talk about things. But going back to your original question, I would say that looking at where we come from, I think has had a lot of impact on us growing up. Our upbringing has had a lot of impact. Where, like I said initially, that we are brought up with the idea that men can't cry, men cannot, you don't talk about your feelings. We tend to mask our feelings, we tend to like not show that we are hurt. We are not supposed to show that we're hurt. um you're just supposed to take it strongly. You're a man. You're supposed to take it strongly. You need to be strong and all of that. And
And you
I
probably
think that
get called
really,
names when you
yes,
show out your emotions. So that's another thing,
yes,
that you have to face.
yes. These things of don't be a sissy, just for talking about how you feel. No, you're being a sissy. Why are you doing that? Men don't do that. And I think this adds up to, because when you are young, we tend to take everything from our upbringing, and now as we grow, we tend to be exactly that version of how
Mm.
we were. Considering the fact that also our fathers probably didn't speak much about their pain and all of those things, so we tend to think, oh, so that's okay, that's normal. That's normal not to speak about how I feel. It's normal not to show that I'm hurt. It's normal to just mask everything, keep everything inside of me. And the problem about that is, the day that you tend to feel a lot of things. You tend to like, when a balloon bursts, you tend to burst
It's
like
just
a
that's
balloon,
what
and
happens.
that becomes a problem now. So yeah, I think, personally, I think our upbringing has contributed a lot to men not speaking enough about these things. Even at this moment, in relationships per se, you find relationships where the lady will be like, no, why are you being like that? Why are you being a girl in this relationship? You do find such relationships, and I think it also adds up to men not talking, because why should I talk? It means no one is there to listen to me. you know uh we want to take everything to substance abuse, alcohol. I'll deal with my problems using alcohol. We drown our pains through alcohol. And the problem about that is that one day the pain learns how to swim. you know so that's the problem about that. So yes.
Very well said. The day that pain learns to swim, when we're busy drowning it in
Mm,
alcohol, it's another story altogether. Justice,
mm,
talking about women calling men sissies and don't be a girl in this relationship. Very
mm,
often with GBV, and I've been dealing with this for many, many years. Uh, People tend to believe that GBV is only against women, but they don't
yeah.
understand what the male goes through in the relationship, right? And what happens, and I found this, from research as well as talking to clients sometimes, is that in intimate partner violence, when the man reacts in anger, then immediately that is
Mm,
termed gender-based violence. But nobody looks at the other aspect of it. No one considers what goes on behind closed doors, and
mm,
the whole bedroom scenario and all that kind of thing. The problem is people just don't want to talk. Now, from my experience, I am finding that males of other cultures are more comfortable speaking to me about this. I don't know whether it's my
mm,
gray hair. I don't know whether it's, the experience that I have, my attitude towards it, or the way I approach it. I really don't know. But I'm finding this very often in other cultures. And when I ask them, what brings you to me? And then they just say, no, there was just something that we felt safe with you. So I'm beginning to wonder, why aren't we culture sensitive? And why aren't people feeling safe with us to talk about it? From a man's point, what
yeah.
do you think could be the issues? What would you look for in a therapist?
What you said is quite interesting, because I have found it to be true for me also, where I have like friends who would feel comfortable coming up to me crying about something. they're going through, but I know they wouldn't feel comfortable talking about the same thing with another friend or any other person. And that's quite interesting, honestly, to think about it. Is it, I mean, like, when I think about it, is it because we have created a safe space for those friends to be able to talk, or is it because we have embodied the idea that actually you can talk about what you are feeling? We show it, we talk about the things that we're feeling. Maybe it's because of that, so people feel attracted to that. I don't know. So
Talking about that, I'm actively involved with an NGO in Pietermaritzburg, and I would give anything for that NGO because I learned so much. It's amazing how you think you know a lot, and then when you engage with people in your profession, you learn so much more. And one of the things you've mentioned it is a safe space. So what is it in the family that the family becomes an unsafe space? Why is it that people are finding their families the toxic space when it comes to men's mental health?
yes. So a safe space, I normally say a safe space is where, I can literally come up to you and talk about what I'm feeling without fear of being judged. You won't judge me, you won't see me any different. You will still accept me for who I am. Even after telling you that this is what I'm feeling and whatnot and whatnot. So I think our families, especially I'll speak for Black families because I know a lot about that background. Speaking from that background, we don't really entertain the idea of a safe space. We don't entertain the idea of, oh, let's talk down and talk. Exactly, how do you feel? The day I did this, how did it make you feel? Were you hurt? How can I improve? How can we then make this relationship, this family dynamics, how can we make this family work? We don't have that. We don't have that safe space to talk about such things. It's like, we tend to, like, adult people, they tend to think that, oh, I am the right one, you are the wrong one, no matter what, and they embody that, they grow up with that, and they give us that mentality that I am always the wrong one, the adult is the right one. So it's like, oh, I wanted to say kiafana. It's a Zulu word. It's the same. Kiafana. It's like, oh, even if I say this didn't sit well with me, it's like nothing is gonna change because I'm the wrong one either way. So what's gonna change? It's okay. Let me just
Let
not
it
speak
go.
about it then.
Yeah.
Let me let it go, and it hurts me, right? It has hurt me. The next time something similar happens, it hurts me again. But remember, I'm letting it go again, and then another thing happens, it hurts me. I'm letting it go
And you're
again.
building up
So
and building up.
um, yes. So that's where the safe space becomes toxic. You know, it becomes a toxic place where I can't talk about what I'm feeling because, anyway, my mom is the right one. I'm the wrong one all the time. She's never willing to listen to how she's making me feel. So it's such situations.
Just as I find, and I could be wrong, that one behaves that way when you have or when you lack a level of self-esteem, right? And I'm talking about from the adult point of view. When you are confident as an adult or as the head of the family, be it matriarchal, patriarchal, whatever setup the family is, you will not be threatened by a younger person's point of view. When you have positive self-esteem, you will not destroy the next person's self-esteem. Now, I think that is where we're failing
That's
as
true.
a community and as society, because men have this false sense in a patriarchal home of this know-all. And then the mother feels she has done her time of suffering or whatever. So she's entitled to say what she wants to say. And nobody understands that mental health in the 21st century is not mental health in Freudian times. The fourth industrial revolution has caused us a lot of change. Now, I have a problem dealing with older people. And when I say older people, I mean, I'm in my 60s, but I have such a major problem. And I'm seeing this with parents who are just not understanding the younger generation, who are not prepared to listen to them, who are not prepared to engage with them. Yes, we're going to have arguments. Yes, we're going to clash on two sides, but that's healthy argument. And we need to learn to agree to disagree. Yeah? So I think that is the issue with that I'm concerned about with men's mental health. And in a family, you find the mother might listen to the son, but then she will torment his wife. Think about your culture and my culture. It happens. It's a normal thing. Well, I speak for us because, you know, we know our cultures intimately. And what happens to that man? Look at this whole vicious cycle. So mom has him on a pedestal, listens to everything he says, right? Because he's a boy. My boy can say it, my girls can't say it. My father, my husband can say what he wants to say. So this guy goes, now look at this whole cycle, a vicious cycle that's landing up. And he goes and he takes out his temper on his wife because he feels justified. You know, you look at this whole father, mother, he has that false sense of high self-esteem, goes and takes it out on his wife. It lands, if she rebels, it lands up being gender-based violence towards her. So do you see how this whole thing comes? And when we look at it, we don't seem to understand what men go through. Right? Also, from my point of view, men's mental health goes beyond just, you know, the mental health as such. What about sexual impotence, right? And how one has to cope with that. What about the gay community and what they have to deal with, the way they are stigmatized? So for me, men are not speaking out because of stigma. Your comments, what do you think?
Yeah, I think also our friends as men, like I'm in a dynamic type of I'm the father, I have friends, and I have a wife, right? I go to my friends, I speak to them and they're like, no, you can't let her be the man of the house. You are the man of the house. You must show her that you are the man of the house. So I gravitate towards you said something about self-esteem, and it links up in that way that when your self-esteem is bruised, you tend to want to repair it using toxicity, and yes, you're shifting it to another person. So if your friends are telling you that no, you can't let her be the man of the house, you need to be the man of the house, you need to man up, you go back to her, and that's where gender-based violence also occurs. That's another way that gender-based violence occurs. So yeah, I personally agree with what you just said.
And honestly, sometimes when we deal with GBV, and as I said, I'm so grateful to this NGO because I have learned so much from them. When you deal with GBV and you go into the perpetrator, I'm not talking about rape and child abuse. That's not the kind of GBV I'm talking about. Let's go to IPV, intimate partner violence, right? When you're dealing with that, and if the man is willing to come in for a counseling session, you find very often that he has a low self-esteem and he's acting out some toxicity. When we look at let's call it IPV, amongst couples, etc. So that is something that really bothers me. Now, Justice, a way forward. What do we do about men's mental health? What do we do about the alcoholism, the drug addiction, the easy access to things? What do we do about that? Where does the family play a role? Where do friends play a role in helping people through this?
Yeah. I think I'm very blessed in terms of the work that I do with the African Dream Movement, because we open up those safe spaces for young people to talk about such things. It's like we give you a platform to be listened to. you know when you feel like your voice is not heard, we give you that platform to feel heard. And I am grateful for that opportunity to get to work in that space. So I think it starts from there. It starts from the younger people. It starts from an early age. We need to teach boys. We need to teach boys to open up more. We need
It's
to teach
okay
boys
not
to
to be
talk
okay.
about. Exactly. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to cry. you
Yes.
know we need to teach boys that it's okay to be at a space and show your emotions, and know that no one is going to judge you. We need to have that empathy. We need to be empathetic, towards people's situations. I think it starts there.
And
Going
sorry,
into.
Justice, and it's
Yes,
okay to
yes,
walk away from a toxic situation. Be it
exactly,
your grandmother who's yelling at you, be it a
exactly.
work colleague who's behaving like some dinosaur. It's okay to just walk
Yes,
away,
yes, yes. you know
for your own
and
sanity.
exactly, protect. It's okay to protect your peace all the time. um I am one person who believes in that: protect your peace at all costs. And that's very important. As I was saying earlier, to say that moving from young boys to us, as like the young adults, now that we have grown, probably we grew up with all that trauma. I think we need to learn to know that it's okay to go for counseling. you know
Yes.
there's this whole stigma around counseling. Oh, so you go for counseling? Oh, okay. So what is it that you solve through counseling that alcohol can't solve?
Mm.
you know there is that thing, that stigma around that.
Now you
So it's
brought
okay
up
to go
some,
for counseling.
yeah, you brought up something, and this is what I was waiting for. My
Yeah.
message to people is be mindful of the counselors that you go to. Go to
Mm,
somebody who's adequately qualified, go to someone who is governed by some ethics from a council that he or she belongs to. And in doing that, you're able to report your counselor.
mm,
So not everybody who does a course for 3 weeks somewhere or 3 months somewhere is a counselor. That is something we need to
mm.
be very, very careful of. Mind who you open your mouth to, because you could be saying it to the
Yes.
wrong person. And there's methods that we do things, there's models that we use in the way we address the problem. So yeah, be
Mm,
very, very careful, because people are too willing out there to call themselves, oh, we therapists, we counselors, we this, we that. I mean, really, are you qualified to help me? Because no one's going to solve your problem. We
mm.
can only empower you and walk the emotional journey with you. So that's something that
Yeah.
we really have to empower our people, especially our men. Find a
Yes.
professional, because if that professional breaks the confidentiality, you can get that professional struck off the role of his counsel. So that's the
Mm.
weapon that you have as a client. Look for a professional, stick to professional help. It's the safest way to go. Do you agree,
Yep.
Justice? Because too many
Yeah.
people are labeling themselves as professional this, professional that, and that's the danger.
Yes. 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 When you said those things, speaking from a friendship, family kind of dynamic, I think also as people, we need to be mindful of the things that we say to other people. The words that we say, they can either make or break a person. We need to have compassion. We need, like, I think we need to learn that at all costs. It's very important, because some of the things that we say are actually the things that pushes people towards suicide. you know
Yes.
um I may have said something jokingly, so but I didn't understand that that is exactly what that person is really struggling with at that time.
Yeah.
So
Mind
we
what
need to
we
have that
say,
compassion.
where we say it
Yes.
and how we say it, because what seems funny to us is not necessarily funny for the other person. And men,
Exactly.
we're specifically looking at men's mental health. A man might not find it insulting, or he might not be able to say to you, "You've insulted me," but
Mm,
he'll do something like, let's say it's at a party, and an insulting comment is made in a so-called joke.
mm.
He's often not going to retaliate, but he'll do it in other ways. And
Yes,
that
yes,
is dangerous, really, really dangerous.
yes, yes.
Justice, parting
Yeah.
shot, if people want to get hold of you to have a conversation, because I know you've got a lovely YouTube channel. Both of us are YouTubers as well. So yeah, how would people contact you? Because you could
Yep.
be a voice of the youth, of the younger people for mental health.
Yeah. Yeah. I personally prefer emails over any other form of communication. I don't know if it's okay to give my email address here.
Yeah, are you on
Uh,
LinkedIn, or perhaps if they could find you on,
yes,
you are on LinkedIn,
actually,
right? Yeah, so I think we
yes,
just leave it
actually,
as contact us through LinkedIn, because I
yes,
like the fact that LinkedIn does not allow scam messages through.
yes, yes.
The whole
So,
professional thing about LinkedIn.
yep. So yeah, on LinkedIn, my name is Justice Sambo. Simple as that. You'll see my profile picture on there, and everything about me is on there. So yes.
Okay, and yeah, I'm also contactable on LinkedIn. And if there's any way that you can get help, if you want to have a chat with either of us, get us. If you want to have a chat with the both of us, we can set up some time and do what we can, Justice, to just make this
Yes.
world a better place and help men cope with mental health, instead of people realizing that men are always the cause of the problems.
Mm,
I think,
yeah.
that is
Personally,
of concern.
yeah, I think personally, my parting message would be that I am someone who I believe in the betterment of people. I believe in second chances. I believe that each one of us has a good part of us. And I think that's very important to know as a human being, that there is a good part of you, even though it might seem like you are a bad person and all of those things. Don't believe that about yourself. There's a good component about you. Sometimes all you need is just help. Sometimes all you need is just to reach out. And I'm not a therapist. I'm just a friend. And I'm that one person who has a passion for these things. I'm a passion. I'm a person who has a passion for helping other people see uh people walk through their own journeys, and the idea of seeing someone walk through a journey, and it's like walking from one place to another step, that pleases me. So I am one person who believes in that, that we can all be better, we can all do better, and bringing back the human part in humanity. So yes, that is my parting message.
Yep. And find someone to walk this emotional journey with you. In saying that,
Yes.
you know, may whatever force or power you believe in continue to bless you. And understand that as men listening to us, you are not alone. Please understand that there's help out there, and there's nothing wrong in saying, "I need help." It is okay not to be okay.
Yes. No,